Hello, my babies. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Spiritual Tea Time with Reverend Patience. Tonight, we have the lovely fellow spiritual advisor from Indigo Psychics, who I proudly say sponsors the show now, and who I am proudly to say I'm quarter owner of. Coming on tonight, she's proof that not everybody is going to be about throwing cards because we're not just, for the entertainment. A lot of them are life coaches. And my lady that we're having on tonight, Miranda, specializes for you ladies who especially, have dealt with the abusive narcissistic relationships and everything. And trust me, I know a lot of you have gone through it. And this woman is awesome to be coming to help you get that healing started. And so tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about how to recognize being in that relationship with a narcissist and what are the steps to break away and start working on that healing so you don't keep on attracting the same narcissistic bandejos into your life. Trust me, been there, done that myself. And trust me, ladies, you need someone like this in your life. I had someone like this in my life, and it changed me for the better. I've realized what was wrong. I realized it helped me work on my shadow work that I needed healing. Because remember, the reason why we attract these type of people to us is because of what we're not dealing with on the subconscious that's not healed. All right. Remember what we're magnets. So what's going on the inside, emotionally, mentally, and everything on the subconscious, that's what we're bringing to us. And that's why if you looked at your patterns of your life, you have just like I did. My first three husbands was the same abusive, controlling, narcissistic type of thing. Eh, Different body, but same personality. And then when I realized through my friend, who was my life coach and everything, it helped me realize what I needed to. And now I'm on to my fourth and favorite. He's my best friend, and thank God I was able to learn and everything what was the silver lining of those relationships and learn what the wisdom is so I would be able to move on and heal. And that's why we're bringing such people as Miss Miranda Wyatt, the life coach of my ladies here at Indigo Psychics. Well, hello, beautiful. How are
Hey,
you? Thank
great.
you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that, we are talking on this. I have had other people and we have talked about this, but the reason why we keep bringing it up is because it's so rampant.
Yeah.
With this pandemic and people being stuck at home with certain people, they start to really realize we
Yeah.
are in these narcissistic abusive relationships. As when someone comes to you, and they've realized this for themselves. What are some of the basic steps would you recommend to a young woman, that she could start the process of healing?
Yeah. Okay. So, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of things you could do. You can look at possibly the similarities between your partner and your parents, like the way they treat you, because your parents teach you, or whoever's raising you. A lot of people are raised by their grandparents, so
Right.
the caretaker in your childhood um, teaches you what's what to accept as normal. And people don't realize that children take everything at face value, for lack of a better way to put it. Everything they see, they accept it just the way it is. And
Mhm.
they just take it and they say, okay, this is what this is. Okay, this is it. And you have to be careful with that, because anything you show them, they're just going to think, well, this is how the world works, whether I like it or not. And so then when they're such, 20, 30 years later, they're going to still get themselves into the same kind of situations that they grew up in, because they're going to what they think is normal.
Yep.
And their vibe is going to be on the same frequency with that shit, no matter what it is, until they figure it out. And yeah, so you have to look at what your upbringing was like, who was there, who wasn't there, and stuff like that. Because you've got a lot of people who, their fathers weren't around or whatever, and then their boyfriends, they'll have a lot of boyfriends or girlfriends, what have you, but that person will be emotionally unavailable or uh, abusive in some way or another, and then you find out that one of the parents wasn't there at all and they were unavailable.
Yeah,
That then there's the abandonment issues, and that can manifest in a lot of different ways that you don't think about at first. So there's um there's just a million different things, but that's why the deep dive we do with the one-on-one stuff is so big, because there's just so much to explore, in a person. Um, but I would say look at childhood, look at the things you tell yourself about yourself, your value, your worth, your self esteem, all that kind of thing, the way you see the world, the way you see men and women, um, and just start from scratch and ask yourself what your values are and what's important to you and why and who taught you that, and things like that. And you can ask somebody, well, why do you do such and such? Why do you always do that? And they'll say, well, that's how I grew up. But you have to stop and say, well, okay, but is that helping you? Because I catch
exactly.
myself, yeah, I'll catch myself saying something like that all the time. Well, this is just how I grew up. And I think, is this working? 30 years down the road, is this working? Not really. It doesn't, that I could be doing better. So why am I still
Exactly.
holding on to this? So
Exactly.
that, yeah.
You get into that, that it's a subconscious thing that you're used to saying and
Mhm.
everything, not realizing it's part of that self-sabotage. You're
Yeah.
making that excuse for that bad behavior, for that
Yeah.
toxic
Yeah.
trait that you have for hurting yourself and setting yourself back. Real quick shout out. Danny Chen says blessings to all. Thank you for joining us. Namaste, brother Danny. Casa Dundo, better known as Mama Voodoo of the Weird Sisters, says groans and hisses. Great subject tonight, and it is
Mhm.
rampant. And she said she
Mhm.
would love to meet you. And her and Lady TA out there of the Weird Sisters out there in
Yeah.
Vegas, they are going to be joining us as advisors at Indigo Psychics. I am glad to
Oh,
welcome them aboard.
good.
Yay!
Yeah.
And of course, our fellow, fellow business owner and cohorts in crime of one way or another, Miss
Mhm.
Carrie Pierce. Hello,
Mhm.
hello, hello. Thank you for joining us, Mama. Mwah, 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 mwah. Again, a shout out to everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is a really crucial. If you can share it out, especially to my young ladies. We're
Yeah.
talking about how to deal being with that narcissistic traits
Mhm.
that we keep magnetizing to ourselves, how to recognize it and what to do to get in that healing process. And it's very true. You got to delve deep and figure out how you were raised, what you didn't have, and it usually has to come down to different child abandonment issues of
Yeah.
various forms and everything. Like with me being adopted and everything, you subconsciously constantly are searching.
Yeah.
You never feel like you're a part of anything. So you
Mhm.
want to be so accepted. You'll do anything and I'm glad I like I said, I had found my life coach, and people don't realize everyone needs that type of counseling and
Yeah.
teaching in their life. you know Even life coaches need life coaches, because
Mhm.
we all have that go-to person that we can go to and and talk about certain things, and we need that certain guidance to help
Yeah.
us figure out, because we try to be strong independent women. Oh, I could do this myself. Well, yeah, on the outside you're saying you can do this yourself, but on the subconscious, the little girl is constantly doing anything and everything
Yeah.
to self-sabotage that stuff that you're trying to manifest in your life
Yeah.
because of her hurt.
Yeah.
You're trying to wanting the that romantic soulmate twin flame, the blood, all the bells and whistles.
Mhm.
But as soon as you have it in your life, as and when you finally do get it in your life, like when people come to me through the ministry and I deal with them about that type of stuff, you know, I'll show them how to bring that person to them. But I tell them my warning is it is not fair for you to bring that person into your life and everything if you're not going to work on the healing from
Mhm.
the abuse that
Yeah.
you've gone through your life dealing with those
Yeah.
narcissists and everything, because you're going to be waiting for the shoe to drop.
Mhm.
Well, keep having that. What are you telling the ancestors? What are you telling the
Mhm.
universe that you want? And that's why it's so crucial for people to come to people like you, especially my young ladies,
Mm.
to learn, to delve deep and find out. Because the difference between coming to someone like Miranda than a, say, traditional therapist, and I'm not knocking therapy, but for a lot of us now these days, we need that spiritual connection, because
Mhm.
a lot of therapists, what they do is they delve deep, they get
Mhm.
these poor people triggered, but then they just
Mhm.
want to drug them up. Here's a
Yeah,
drug.
yeah,
Here's a drug,
yeah,
instead of truly dealing and healing them and
yeah,
everything. And that's what's different about coming to a spiritual life coach. They do the same process, but they're wanting to make sure that you're healed.
yeah,
So you're not falling back into those self-sabotaging, traps and everything. And so you can move forward, learn, like I talked about before, learning the wisdom of what happened in the past.
mhm,
So when that, because things always spiral, things always come back around.
mhm,
So when that shit comes back around and the universe and the ancestors are testing you on whatever that situation is that was toxic in your life, when it comes back around in a new form, you're not following back in that trap, but you're like, okay, I know what's up. I know
yeah,
what's going on here. Okay. And you take the precautions to either avoid it or swim through the bullshit and go through and let it wash down your back like
yeah,
water on Milk's Bay.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, what in your personal journey made you realize specializing, in women's health and everything, spiritual health, um, made you drawn to that aspect? Of all the different fields you can do, and as a spiritual advisor, why would women's life coaching and everything, especially dealing with narcissists, why would you would want to be drawn to that, to help with that?
It's so common. It's so common, dealing with people that make you feel like you're going crazy, and you know, uh, they make you
True.
feel like you're losing your mind. And
Mm.
one of my favorite things that they did to me was making me think that I had said or done something that I didn't say or do.
Girl,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
sorry.
said, no, I didn't.
Yes, yes.
Because
Oh, great, honey, say it one more time for the people in the
yeah,
back
yeah,
of the car. Whoo, girl, you.
I know. Well, and see, the thing is, and here's something that irks me. A lot of women, or most women around the world, I suppose, really are still kind of being led to think that, depending on how old fashioned we grew up, a lot of them are led to think that men know what they're doing, and that we don't know how to do stuff, so we've got to go through them for it, and we've got to go through them for information on how to understand things and have things explained to us and shit like that. And so now we're at a point where, because we haven't been taught to trust ourselves at all, we haven't been taught to trust our own intuition at all, and we go to them, and the boyfriend looms over you and says, well, you did this, so actually what you said was blah blah blah, and you actually listen to that swill instead of
Mm,
your own memory, because you'll remember it happening totally differently, but it won't matter because, depending on, like I say, how you've grown up, if it was, you know, damn near Victorian, like how I grew up, the man ran the show, and damn it, you didn't argue, and to hell with you if you thought about, and so you get used to the idea of them being in charge. So when they say something, well, it wasn't this, it was this, damn it, and your brain just says you got to go with him because you're wrong, and you're so programmed for that you ignore yourself completely, and you just go with what he says because he must be right. And then
mhm.
you're telling yourself you're crazy because, oh well, hell, you know and like I say, I've told this story before, but I tell it all the time because, like, it's so typical, and it's so disgusting. I had one of them, the last one, the biggest one. He had me at the drugstore picking out memory vitamins because I thought I was losing my mind, because everything he told me that I had said and done, I couldn't remember doing or saying. And like, I actually thought, yeah, and I trusted his,
Wow.
I trust, yeah, and I trusted him over my own damn brain, to the point where I went with what he said instead of what I knew. So we went down there together to Rite Aid, and there I stood in the vitamin aisle looking at memory vitamins because I thought I was just losing my mind. And he stood there and helped me look.
They're
So
bad. They're
just
bad.
yeah.
So, in your own personal journey, what made you come to the realization that you were in this toxic situation and you needed to get away from him?
um, I had to think about. I realized that me and those clowns had a lot in common, a lot more than I was ready to face, and that is
Right.
um, you draw people into your life not just because they're there to teach you a lesson, which is the general idea, but also a lot of times the two of y'all come from the same kind of hurt in your past. You know, both of you might both have abandonment wounds or whatever. You know, just anything. Y'all might have that. It might have happened for you differently, and you might be manifesting it and demonstrate it differently, but you're coming from the same kind of hurt, and because
Right.
of that, you just just like magnets. And
Yes, girl.
so
Terribly too.
because especially, and if you want to get down the fine details like wounded masculine or wounded feminine, there's a lot of, and I've sure had some wounded masculine meet me in the face, on dates, and um,
Mm,
it's
I
just,
bet.
yeah. So it'll come from the same kind of hurt. It's just each person's going to show it differently. But I had to think about what it was about me that attracted these people, and um, what we had in common. And it just takes a lot of soul searching and a lot of sitting down with yourself and saying, okay, what am I doing? What am I really doing? What is it that I tell myself that lets them think they can do this to me? I had no boundaries whatsoever, no healthy boundaries, didn't know how to say no. Okay, well, why don't I know how to say no? Well, all these years I've been taught, blah, blah, blah. So my upbringing is affecting who I choose to date. And that's everybody in the world, one way
Right.
or another, because your upbringing, that's all that's your programming. What
Yep.
else can to go by, except for Disney movies that screwed up girls, you know,
Right.
because that taught us a lot of that taught us, and a lot of us were taught, oh, you'll be fine. You just got to find the right man. You'll be all right, and that's not that ain't it. And we give up trying to build anything else or trying to make anything else good because we think, well, if I just find the right husband, I'll be all right. And that's bull, and we're putting all our eggs in that basket thinking, oh, I just got to get the right man. And that isn't, that's,
Mm-mm.
scratch that, just scrap it, just get rid of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to be the basket. Like,
Yeah.
when they come to me, oh,
Yeah.
do you see future love? Do you see me finding my soulmate, honey?
Yeah. They're hooked on that idea.
Or I'll ask them exactly what do you want, and they're like, well, I don't know. Well, that
Yeah.
means you don't know yourself, honey. That means you're going to settle for anything,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
matter what it is, and no matter, and you're going to think that abuse is love, even though
Yeah.
it's not love, just because they're getting some kind of attention.
Yeah.
Okay, the love you need, like I said before, we are magnets, people. That
Yeah.
true love, that true soulmate, and everything that needs to come from self.
Yeah.
And so once you start falling in love with yourself and generating that love energy, because like she said, toxic coming together and magnetizing everything, that's the same thing with love too. If you
Mhm.
want you have to be on that right vibration.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
and also too, you need to know exactly what you want. That's why
Mhm.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of my favorite things to teach my babies are I make them go through, get a piece of paper, and you write down on a list 2 columns. The left column is going to be every single name of every person you've had a relationship from the very first one you can remember and everything, and down to all, when it comes to your intimate relationship to the most recent and everything. And Carrie says it sounds like you're a great manifesting coach.
I can be, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then on the other side, right next to each name of all your exes, only the good attributes of what it was that you fell in love with, whether it be physical, spiritual, mental, whatever it is about them. Then take a pair of scissors, cut down the middle,
Yeah.
and then separate the two columns. The columns of the X's you roll away from you because you're going to banish that
Yeah.
connection
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as a part of the ritual. You put it in a pot that you can light on fire and everything, and as it burns, you
We
thank them.
doing it.
Uh-huh. Thank them for everything that you have, showed me of what I deserve and what I don't want,
I like
and
that.
then and then take the list of all those good attributes and ask your ancestors, your gods, your goddesses, saints, whoever you work with, and ask them to bring to you your true life partner, and they will be of these attributes, and you read them to you, and down the line, roll it towards you, and either put hoodoo and conjure folks, you put it in the Bible, put it in your altar, put it in jewelry box, or, Wiccans witches like to put it on their altar, whatever, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you've done, you've asked for your, because remember, this is the reason why these people are your exes, because they only had a little bit of the true person you need to be with. Okay. Now you have called and asked for that true person to come to you. And that's why it's so crucial. You need to come to my girl Miranda and start working on that healing. Because, like I said before, it's not fair for you to call and have that true, beautiful soul coming to you, and you ruin it and make that poor soul pay for the sins of the past. You got
Yeah. Yeah.
to work on yourself. It is only fair.
Yeah.
That you get yourself, doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, but you start that process and make a daily process for it and everything, and and you can do that subconsciously by easily, like I teach my babies. My husband teases me about the lavender. When it comes, like the red Frank Hots lady, she says she puts that hot sauce on everything. I'm the same way with lavender. I
Yeah.
mean, body wash, through the dish soap, to the laundry detergent, to your disinfect. You can find everything in lavender, honey.
Mhm.
Okay. If you don't like lavender, stick with the citrus of
Mhm.
some kind. The orange, the lime, lemon,
Mhm.
coconut. That's
Yeah.
also a great one. You can find everything now these days. Even Clorox Scentsy, if you don't mind using chemicals, has a coconut smelling one. Also,
Yeah.
you can go with your all naturals. But
Yeah.
still, the whole point is you can use your subconscious little things like that with your aromatherapy to help work with the healing, because you need to make sure, as we're going through this toxic world and as
Yeah.
you're going through this healing, that we make our home our healing place, our
Mhm.
safe haven.
Mhm.
And then another thing, when it comes to working with that, um, is using the frequencies and
Mhm.
everything. And that's how I work when my ladies, when they come to me dealing with the narcissist and showing them
Mhm.
the healing process. I love teaching about the sleep meditation.
Mhm.
Um, I have some great playlists right here on my YouTube channel. These are my personal playlists. These are not my videos at all. These are ones I've been using for years for myself. I mean, Carrie can even vouch, and several other of my, ladies can vouch. These things, you use them on the regular. And what it does when we're sleeping, all of those self-sabotaging mindsets are, yep, exactly.
I'm a
They're all
hurt.
turned off.
Yeah.
And this is how we can get some major deep healing done without all that triggering.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's the reason why I love, you know, using this, very simple. I've had people come to me, there's no way. It can't
Mhm.
be that easy. What's the
Mhm.
catch?
Yeah.
Um, Life is what you speak it. If
Yeah. Yeah.
Why can it not be that easy?
Yeah.
The ancestors had they think it's all new age, but it's not. They've actually, if you do research, known about sound frequencies and
It's old
everything.
age.
Exactly, for thousands and thousands of years. And
Mhm.
it is that simple,
Mhm.
especially dealing with the trauma. And one of my favorite things I like to recommend is doing finding one that has like the 417 to remove the
Mhm.
negativity, the
Mhm.
528 going
I
all the way down
know.
to the cellular level to remove the trauma. And then, but also too, especially before you go to sleep, because now that we're going through all that 5D ascension, uh,
Mhm.
like you and me, and who are very extremely spiritual, we're leaving, the physical while we sleep, big time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we need to keep this protected so nothing else decides to jump in. And a great way to do that is lavender and cedar wood blended together, and you put
Oh,
on the middle of your forehead, your left and right temple, and then the back of your neck, left and right
mhm.
side, and
Mhm.
like put your protected pinnacle on the head.
Mhm.
And do it at night. I always recommend also doing it during the day and
Mm,
everything because it keeps anything malevolent trying to attach.
yeah.
And for those who don't like lavender, do the frankincense. That works just
Mm,
as
yeah.
well. Do the frankincense mixed with the cedarwood. And also, because anything I teach on this show, don't just go by my word or any word of my guest. We want you to research, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to look this up. You'll see that I speak truth about the cedarwood now. They have new medical records, not
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual, but the medical records proving smelling cedarwood helps down to the body to release old traumas down to the cellular level. And mind you, our cells do not know the concept of time. So every time that we have something subconsciously triggering us and everything, especially in our abusive relationships,
You're
we
there.
causing that negative harm and physical
Yeah.
harm and causing sickness. And that's why so much are full of disease and
Mm-hmm.
cancer and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of good stuff because we refuse to acknowledge what we have
Mm-hmm.
suppressed so badly down.
Yeah.
And that's why I love that we have people like you a part of our indigo psychic family, you know, a safe haven for ladies to come to because we are taught no matter what culture we're from.
Mm-hmm.
I sociology worldwide.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
being as mixed as I am and being adopted, I've always been so interested. And one
Mm-hmm.
common thing I've seen in all cultures, women are taught to hate each other
Mm-hmm.
now and everything. And so to have someone like you, a part of the Indigo family, that can be that safe haven that women can come to and delve in and go on that soul journey
Yeah.
of the healing process
Yeah.
without too many. Oh my God, I've
Yeah.
seen it on the internet. Too many of them are luring them in and everything just to take advantage of them
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of good stuff. And people, Miranda is the real deal here.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so proud and honored to have her as a part of the Indigo Psychic family and being on the show. You know, Carrie says, "You're."
It's funny.
Hey, that's another one we're proud, proud to be knowing you as well, Miss Carrie. You know, being all of one thing we have in common, being children of Thor.
That's right.
We got the lightning bolts, baby. To
That's right.
zap. And that's the reason why I want to show proof and everything that we're
Mm-hmm.
not just about entertainment. We're about actually honestly, okay, this is what's going on. All right, spirit says this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is what you got to do, to get this healing process started. I can guide you, but you have to put the work in. Our
Yeah.
lives are great work. I've had people come to me and everything because they see the word healer by my name and they think I'm supposed to be like them evangelicals on the freaking tape. They hail in the name of Jesus
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Well, no, honey, real healing don't work that way. That's all pomp and circumstance. I've seen it. Just like a magician's in Las Vegas with their sleight of hand. It's the same BS, but this dub Christian. Okay, all right. A lot of that is all BS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. True healing doesn't come that way. All right. You have to be doing it from within. It starts with self care, your self love, and your self discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady will help you with that guidance. You know, I know you under Freya, Miss Carrie, but you also Thor's up your ass too. Okay. Whether you like it to admit it or not. I'm messing with you, Carrie. Come on now. Yes, don't mess with the Freyas. But have fun on the show, baby. That's what it is. Spiritual tea time. We just have
That's
a little
right.
fun and everything. You know, like I had a lady come to me and everything, and she wanted a relationship analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Because her and her hubby are fighting and all that stuff. I said, okay, give me a second. Let me grab my cards.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need cards? It says that you're a medium, ma'am.
She doesn't know what the word medium means.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
said, ma'am, no offense, but what mediumship is, that's where I use my abilities to talk to whatever person's on the other side that you want to talk to, like your
Yeah.
grandma, your auntie, some your daddy, whatever, and
Mhm.
everything. That's what mediumship is. I
Yeah.
am a I'm a go medium
Channel.
means I'm a go between our world and the spiritual world. Now, what you want, honey, is a relationship analysis to find out what the hell's going on with y'all and everything. And so she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize." I'm like, I swear to God, where I work at my thrift store, they got more common sense than the average
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
Common and like Grandma says, my grandma Henrietta, she was a sweet lady. She was from Brunswick, Georgia. She always says, "Baby, common sense is not a flower that grows in everybody's garden, no matter how much you cultivate the soil."
Yeah.
And child, I strongly believe it. I see it every day. Woo, working in customer service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but sometimes, like I for the longest time, you know, because I was always very stubborn and always, put out there I was this strong ass bitch. No, but not allowing that, what was going on behind closed
Mhm.
doors. You
Mhm.
know, after the third one put me in the hospital and everything, and putting up with 10 years of that BS,
Mhm.
I broke down and
Mhm.
admitted to myself, and I called on my spiritual brothers and sisters I knew that could help me with cut the cord
Yeah.
because I was literally dealing. And I do the same thing for ladies, because the ones that are truly need that extra help and really mean it, and they need that
Mhm.
extra help away. Because as like they say, there's such thing as earth angels. Well, guess what? There's demons in the flesh as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they need that extra help. And people like Miranda and myself, that's what we're here for, to give you that safety, that safe haven that you can come to and give you that spiritual strength, especially when it comes to, doing prayer work and everything.
Mhm.
We will teach you what you need to do to become that strong warrior. Because
Mhm.
trust and believe me, honey, I learned over the years of dealing with, because my first three husbands rode motorcycles, if you know what I'm saying. Ran around with some 1% type of ass, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And but in that world,
Mhm.
I did have respect
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
thought I was crazy as hell because they knew I was a witch. They knew what I was capable of with my magic and protection. Put it this way: when I lived in Florida, the regional president of Florida, used to come to me for tarot card reasons and spiritual advice before he made a move.
Mhm.
He was superstitious as hell. He was originally from Lithuania.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's cool.
That's why the outlaws in Florida and the Jew and the Russian mafia are so close.
I like that.
Family ties,
Mhm.
literally. But dealing with everything that's been going on in this world, I bet you, because even Mama Voodoo says now with the politics taking away the women's rights, especially here in America.
Mhm.
I mean, reporting back the way things were and stuff,
Mhm.
it's only going to be compounding it even more.
Mhm.
A lot of people are saying that they could see our country turning into Handmaid's Tale type of shit, and that would be a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You've seen history and what it's gone through and everything and all that stuff, you know, and now being in our day and age, there's no excuse anymore
Yeah.
not to do the healing.
Yeah.
And that's why we got people like this lovely lady here, Miranda, as a part of Indigo Psychics. Oh my goodness. Thanksgiving's coming up. I can't wait. My four favorite things: family, friends, food, and football. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. We're going to have lots of food. Definitely. Dealing with narcissists, what are some of the, until they can get away from them, what are some easy ways could you recommend to someone that so they could protect themselves? To start building confidence.
Um, do you mean like spiritually or legally or like legal protection or just anything that?
Everything, honey. Everything.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that I used to do was, of course, take screenshots of stuff that was said. That's why sometimes it is good to do things through text because whatever they say, you've got it documented forever. Screenshots of anything and everything that you might be able to use in your favor for proof for anything. And send screenshots to your friends and tell them to hold on to it. I used to print stuff out and have like a folder of stuff printed of things that were said or whatever, just to have proof to back me up. Um, um, Write down all the information you can that you can think of to identify them or and just anything. Just document as much as you can for your physical safety. Um, this is something actually that I go over in my online course as well. When it comes to physical safety, if you live in a small apartment or something, or you can't get a dog or whatever, the dog is best because he can hear when no one else can in
Yeah.
the middle of the night and uh, will start barking and raising hell immediately. Whereas the police is going to take them a few minutes, you know what I mean? But the dog is
Mhm.
right here, right now. But if you don't have that luxury, I would say at least get um, well, I have firearms under my bed, but if you're not going to get that, at least get uh, those things you put on the windows that go, oh, window, or whatever,
Yeah.
time something opens. And
Ring alarm would be great and everything, especially with the
yeah,
camera on it and stuff for your phone. Oh,
oh, yeah.
how about some spiritual stuff?
Okay. So that's loaded. That could be, there's so much you could do. I guess it depends on who you work with, as it were. But if you're somebody who doesn't know how to do that yet or isn't really on that path or anything like that, my suggestion is always and you don't have to go for any particular deity if you don't know what you're doing, because I used to not feel like I knew what I was doing either, but my ancestors are and have always been the first people. I'm looking at their pictures right now. um,
Mm.
the first ones who would respond to things I needed, like they were the ones that popped up and said, okay, and I went with that. Um,
I usually recommend that too. And
yeah, yeah,
also simple, easy things to do. Keep salt across the door, underneath the mat of the door,
yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
Another one, my favorite one, we have a saying down in the South, in the hoodoo community. It's called a licorice whip. You take a
Mhm.
2 inch piece, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
baby. In the South, Southern girls conjure, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
We take a 2 inch piece of a licorice stick, put
Mhm.
it in your bra of the hand that you're dominant with. So it
Mhm.
literally makes you a
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah.
And then also too, make sure you're wearing your crown with your lavender on it and everything
Yeah.
with that combo. And then read Psalms 45 and
Mhm.
46. You'll always have that upper hand. That's what we
Yeah.
use to have the upper hand on your husband. But also
Mhm.
that works great on anybody you have to deal with that's a controlling narcissist. And then
Mhm.
one of my favorite things, and hold on, I'll grab it so people can see it. Hold on, I got one right here. Okay, this is what I call. Usually it's in a darker purple, but this is actually a light purple. I don't know if you can see. It's called a Bokur whip. What it is you take a 2 inch piece of devil shoestring and a two
Mhm.
inch piece of licorice fruit. Then you take
Mhm.
that some type of that thread and emboss that you use to make the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bracelet with,
Oh, yeah.
and you take a whole long piece of it, tie it off where you leave about maybe 2 inches, and
Mhm.
just wrap it back and forth until
Mhm.
you come back and you have the same amount, and then you tie it off 3 times. I do in
Mhm.
the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Trim it off, and then you wear it in your bra and
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
And this amplifies each other. Because
Oh,
one thing
yeah.
about the devil's shoestring, that trips up anybody that's going to try to cause you harm, but also amplifies your will to put up that shield of invisibility.
Mm, yeah.
How well it works.
Yeah.
I My third husband was a Gemini, okay, with a Scorpion rising. Okay, literally living with the angel and the demon. And when that
Mhm.
demon came out, when I had this in, no matter how bad he wanted to put his hands on me, he couldn't. And he
Mhm.
knew when I was wearing it too,
Mhm.
because he wanted to raise a hand and he couldn't. It
Yeah.
literally something kept him pushing him back. Then
Yeah.
also another time, um, how well it works about amplifying invisibility.
Mhm.
Because there's certain people that don't like me down there in New Orleans.
Mhm.
Afraid that I would run into them and they would cause problems and everything because we went down there for our wedding.
Mm.
I had this in my bra with my crown on, amplified with a labradorite. Girl,
Mhm.
we went down there party for 5 days and 4 nights. No one saw me. I was even by some of their stores and everything, and never went in there. And then
Isn't
the
it
ones that I went to go see in their stores, Spirit revealed to me that they were actually, two faced
great?
and not who they were supposed to be and everything.
Mhm.
And then, so yeah, nobody saw me,
Mhm.
and we had a grand old time, honey.
Right.
Like, and it works very fabulously. And one
Yeah.
thing that's great about it, it gives you the upper hand, especially on the opposite sex, no matter if it's physical or spiritual.
Mhm.
So when I go on paranormal investigations, yes, I have one of these in my bra with my
Mhm.
crown on. And
Mhm.
oh, what by the time I leave, they will call me queen. Because especially when in dealing with life and everything,
Mhm.
you got to start learning to love yourself,
Yeah.
part of the healing process. And this
Yeah.
is especially with my ladies
Yeah.
who are in those relationships where they're so, yeah, allow them to think that they're the head. This helps you to
Mhm.
be the neck.
Mhm.
This is one of
Mhm.
my favorite things. And not too many places outside of the South knows what Devil's Shoestring. Like when I went
Mhm.
to see my sister back in 2018 in Vegas, I had a store tell me they didn't get any Devil's Shoestring in a couple years because they don't know where to get it from. I said, honey, I know about 20 people between Louisiana to Florida that can go into the swamp and get it for you, baby. But
Right.
never mind. Trust me. As soon as I mentioned I did hoodoo, they treated me like I was a devil incarnate, honey.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, out in Vegas, they are so prejudiced. You have to be white and Wiccan,
Really bizarre.
or you're gypsies.
That's bizarre.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, they got a history of racism and all that kind of good stuff, even in the magical community.
That's so weird. They're really limiting themselves with that. Yeah, yeah, that's weird.
Oh, I know. But Vegas is all about the show anyway, so
Yeah.
like they really care about that part, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So I mean, come on, that's like the essence of narcissism right there in the essence of a city,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for sure. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Oh
Yeah.
my god. Whew. I could not live there 24/7. I couldn't do
Mm-mm.
it. The
Mm-mm.
energy of that place and how haunted it is. Mm-mm.
It
No, thank
sounds
you.
yeah, it sounds chaotic to me.
Oh my god.
That would be like
When
listening to real loud music you don't like for too long, you know?
yes,
I feel like that's what that would feel like out there.
yes, and I'm not surprised they have all that spiritual action going on and everything.
Mhm.
I mean, all them granite mountains around them and everything, and
Oh,
then
yeah, yeah.
the history of violence, with the mafia and everything else
Mm,
that's gone down in that city. Mm-mm,
mm,
mm-mm.
it's weird.
Terry says Toronto was like that for her. I'm not surprised. Toronto got history too.
Mm,
Hundreds of years, few centuries of that shit, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. So I would not be surprised. I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised. And that's why people, you got to realize that also too, narcissists are not just physical. There's
Mm,
also spiritual. That's
mhm,
why you got to take that, step of just basic, like
mhm,
aromatherapy, like we talked about before, and
mhm.
everything. Simple little steps like that.
Yeah,
You got to make a part of your daily routine.
yeah,
You know, and trust me, just changing little shits like that makes a world of freaking difference.
yeah.
You know, Uh, I mean, a lot of people when I teach them about the frequencies, they think it's a quick fix. They do it one time and everything's great, and then all of a sudden things are going to shit again.
Mhm,
didn't say one time it's a quick fix. Like I tell you people, those playlists, only one that's mine and my videos is Spiritual Tea Time. All those
Mhm.
other playlists are my personal playlists of other people's subliminals I
Yeah.
use daily for myself,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to help me. I'm human too,
Yeah.
you know, we're emotional. And
Yeah.
trust me, the healing process, I wish we could just twitch our nose, like Samantha and bob our heads like I Dream of Genie and everything's instantaneous and all is good. You know, it's a daily process.
Yeah.
It's something we got to do every day for the rest of our lives,
Yeah.
you know. But one of my favorite ones, and Carrie loves it too, is called Money Storm. It
Mm.
has a thunderstorm and rain playing in the background
Mm.
with the money affirmation subliminal silently
Mm.
embedded, but it also has the 528 frequency and the 417 frequency
Mhm. Mhm.
and everything. And that's one of my favorites because
Mhm.
the 417 helps remove negative energy down to the cellular level. And then
Mhm.
the 528, excuse me, literally helps you heal
Yeah.
and rejuvenate and everything. So that helps you give that rebirth. So as you're moving all the negative, old cells and shedding and giving birth to new life of yourself and
Yeah.
rejuvenating your DNA, that helps you bring in the positive energy.
That's
Because the
right.
more positive we are, the more blessings we bring into
Mhm.
ourselves. You know, Carrie Lice says actually money stream works faster. I have a problem with when I listen to Money Stream because it's that constant trickle sound. I have to get up and pee in the middle of the night, or any ocean sounding ones. Actually, a lot of people do. Um, my mom, when I was a kid growing up, I remember her mentioning about that. She was a massage therapist.
Mhm.
This is before she became a dean of a school. And I remember she goes, "That's it. That's the last client I'm playing this tape for." And I'm like, because she would always, play the new agey, relaxing music when she's doing, her treatments.
Mhm.
And she did this ocean one, being Florida and the beach and,
Yeah.
all that good stuff because where she worked was Juno Beach, Florida. Always, every time she played this one, everybody, no matter who they were, they had to get up in the middle of the treatment and have to go to the
Mhm.
bathroom.
Mhm.
She goes, "That's it. I'm done." Carrie says the ocean ones give me weird pirate dreams. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, and that's probably the reason why you go to that area of Virginia and everything. You know,
I was just about to say that could be a little bit of blood memory kicking in for all she knows. Might be a pirate back there, in the line somewhere.
Well,
Aside from that
I'm
being
actually,
there.
because more than once in conversation we've talked about Blackbeard. You need to
Mhm.
do some more research because I'm hearing in another life you guys were personal in one way or another, but you weren't a woman. If that makes sense. Arr, yes, it makes sense. Hey man, I love the pirate life. I mean, like I said, I grew up in Florida. Pirates of the Caribbean was my favorite ride as a kid growing up.
Mhm. Mhm.
There was no movies and Jack Sparrow and all that. I mean, great. I mean, they're lucky now because Johnny
Mhm.
Depp's one of been one of my favorites.
I know it.
Since 21 Jump Street, baby.
Yeah.
But that's a different story.
Yeah.
But anyways, the thing is that we need to recognize,
Mhm.
the physical and the spiritual. So we, start, like I said, that healing process and demagnetizing
Mhm.
ourselves, because even so, like, come to me, what the heck are you doing up there? It sounds like they're tearing up my house. Whoo, Lord. Okay. Whew. All right. Anyways, um, I don't know. It sounds like something in her room fell. I guess it wasn't out in the living room. Gotta love spirit. It was a pirate ghost.
Yeah, right.
Yo ho, the pirate life for me. Oh my gosh, now I have that song playing in my head. Shush. I love it when spirited. I got my own radio. That's what I usually call it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But anyway, girl, we had such a fun time. Um,
yeah, yeah.
let everyone know how they can contact you, especially through the Indigo Psychics and whatever, and also any other way besides Indigo Psychics, any events or any classes or courses, go ahead, just shamelessly advertise, baby. Let them know.
Okay, so if you want, I guess the easiest way, because I'm in several different places, you can Google Miranda Wyatt Life Coach, and I
Okay.
pop up on like several things. You can get me on Instagram. You can add me on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel where I get on there and just kind of like do this kind of thing, just like BS. But um, and I did have a website. Well, I still have it, but I put it on pause. So I don't know if it would come up in the Google results, but I'm not really using it right now. Um, so, I mean, they can message me anywhere. And I have one online course that's released right now, which is how to stop attracting narcissists. And it's 9 recorded videos and it's in depth. I mean, like in depth. I put so much work into this. The whole thing was intuitive. I didn't script a word of it, but I just like went with what I knew. And it's just like a deep dive into it, because people want to know about the narcissist. They always want to know, well, what's wrong with that person? What's wrong with that person? Look, I don't know. It could be anything. We're not going to find out because they're not going to tell the truth anyway if you do ask them. So forget that. But you got to learn about you and what it is about you that they like, what it is about you that attracts them. And people don't realize that, or they forget anyway, that the thoughts that you have and the vibes that you put out there are just travel in the waves, and you pull people in that are feeding off of that, either because they like it or they match it or whatever. And usually they'll match it in one way or another. And one of the things I've noticed that I don't like is that when people will say, well, life is a mirror. So if you've attracted such and such type of asshole in your life, that's on you. You're doing something to pull them in. So you need to figure that out. And that's sort of it, but also sort of not it, because not everybody knows how to figure themselves out yet. Like that's a real process. And even though I'm not into the hardcore victim mentality, because I've had people tell me, well, I don't, there's something wrong with me. I haven't done anything wrong. So why are these people coming at me like that? Well, you won't be honest with me. So I don't know. You do,
Exactly.
well, because, people are so afraid of being called out or being told, well, this is happening to be you because you keep doing this. So you need to stop.
Mhm.
You need to figure it out. Yes, but you're also it's not necessarily 100% your fault because you're doing what you've been programmed to do, which was not your doing. That was somebody else's doing when you were 5 years old. So
Right.
it's you, but it's not. So you don't have to be afraid of all of the blame being pinned on you because it's not really that simple. You know what I mean? So I always try to tell people, don't be afraid of what you might discover or have to admit to or whatever, because it's not about blaming you and making you look in the mirror and be ashamed of yourself. It's just, let's look at what you've been taught and what you need to quit doing and quit believing about yourself and quit believing about reality. We'll shift.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not as I don't attack people when they are trying to figure things out, because it's never that simple, I guess. But so I have the online course. It's self-paced. It's just $100. It's a lot.
How do they sign up for the course?
They can I don't have like an official thing yet. So what they can do is just message me anywhere and just, tell me they want to do it. And then I just take, PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or whatever. I've used all those. Um, and then once they pay it, I just send them the links to the videos, and it's a private playlist on YouTube. So the only they get it. It's only the people who have paid for it get access to it. And then that way, they just watch it at their own pace. They have access to it forever. It never times out or anything like that. And that's it. And it's just, a deep dive. It's just, I put a lot of work into it, a lot of
You need
intuition.
to get with Carrie and everything and give her the link to the course to add it to your profile so people can go through that and everything to
Okay.
do the course and stuff and advertise it through your profile and stuff and make it a part of the thing and
Yeah.
give her the code so they can have the link to go to do, and
Okay.
sign up for there, and so you get payment and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can do that.
Figure out, and all that. That would be an awesome thing add on into, because we want to be doing that type of stuff with Indigo Psychics.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I said, and your YouTube channel, give her that link and
Okay.
everything, so it's linked up to your profile. She did that for me as well, and and also remember, people, when you go to sign up and you want to join in, it's like do like a phone session with her. We use the Click for Advisor. You have to sign up, and then through that, you also can email her, and she will get
Mhm.
notifications as well. So you can, get with her and set up an appointment, that works for between you all and stuff. Because I know not everyone has traditional social media, especially like older ladies and everything,
Mhm. Mhm.
who are in, even in the small country town where I'm at. I'm in my mid 40s, and I see country girls all the time. They want nothing to do with it, but they still watch YouTube,
Yeah. That's
still
true.
do regular internet and everything for other things. And that's why, I tell people, you can go to indigopsychics.com, look up Miranda Wyatt. She's our, spiritual, one of our spiritual life coaches that we have, a part of the Indigo family, which I am very proud to be working with. And Carrie says, and we are still working on the website makeover now. You
Mhm.
know, we're, like I said, we're in a process. You know, the major huge launch, I will say, will be 2023. It will be a game
Mhm.
changer and everything, because but as we go through the process, we're still there. There's, like I said, you can find her on the Facebook, on the Instagram, also, like I said, through indigopsychics.com. You should be well worth it. And thank you again for coming on the show. Definitely, we're gonna have you as a regular girl. See, worried about what we're gonna talk about, girl. See, we had
Every
fun. Hey.
every damn thing. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed this. We
Oh,
covered
I
some.
love having fun.
Yeah.
I want people to see, and being able to feature, our fellow advisors and everything,
Mhm.
and get the word out, because that's why at Indigo Psychics, we want a variety of different people, because not everyone just needs a card thrown.
Yeah.
They need the more in depth spiritual, you know, like I said, coaching and healing advisory type thing, like what you offer. And a lot of ladies, please, this is, a safe haven you can go to.
Mhm.
Miranda is still, definitely check her out. She's well worth it, and make that first step, because you all deserve to live that delicious
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
But you got to remember, you got to take those steps. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with that one step, baby. Okay. So what if you take baby steps?
That's
I'm
right.
proud to be a baby girl, honey. I take baby steps every day. And
Mhm.
it's not because I can't move like I was in my 20s and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Practice kicks in and I'm moving like that little old lady, but I'm getting there. It's like, hey, here I come, yo.
Yeah, that's right.
But we get there.
Yeah.
You got to have that determination.
Mhm.
And then remember, the key to that self love and self care that we need to be doing, because that's what this year was all supposed to be about.
Mhm.
That was that main collective reading of 2022.
Mhm.
22 is that built master number of the builder, you
Mhm.
know, rebuilding ourselves, that
Mhm.
self love and self care. So you want to get in that process, you want to get in that step, come see my girl right here, Miranda, you know, and definitely you will not regret it. Thank you all for joining in tonight. Mwah. Thank you, girl, for joining me tonight.
Thank you for.
Everyone, stay blessed. Everyone, stay safe. and good night. Mwah.